Hi everyone, welcome back to Things Lucy Reads. I'm Luce, and this is another wrap-up video. All of the books I'm going to talk about in this video were written by friends of mine, which is really exciting, and I will put all of the buy links for these books in the down bar so that you can check them out if you think that they sound interesting. The first one I'm going to talk about is a zine, and it's called Wolfskin, and it's written by my friend Alison Evans. Okay, so before we start, I just want to mention that this is like a magical realism zine. And both of the main characters are like vaguely supernatural creatures. One is a girl who kind of has bones in her neck and make it difficult to breathe, obviously. So the girl with glass in her neck meets like a wolf girl, and they go traveling for a little while and kind of find out things about themselves, and it's very much about belonging, because both of them don't really feel like they belong in Melbourne, so they go elsewhere, and then they kind of have people react to them, sometimes well, sometimes not so well along the way, and they realize that actually maybe Melbourne is the place that they like best. And it is a little bit of a romance, kind of strange but not in a bad way, and it was just really, really nice, and I loved the atmosphere of the zine. It was just like really magical, well, obviously because it's magical realism, but I would definitely read this again because it felt nice to read it, because just the writing and the characters and the atmosphere of the zine or novella, whatever you want to call it, was just really, really comforting. Even though it's not necessarily a comforting story, it was just nice to read. I wasn't having the best day when I read it, and this kind of made everything better, so that was really nice. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read is a comic, and it is called We Came to Kill, by my friend Frank Candeloro. This is a comic about a metal band called Hateful Witch, and it kind of it's about this person who is interviewing them for a magazine, because there's this article on, you know, the best metal bands ever, and then Hateful Witch is not on it as this person's favorite band, so they kind of track down all of the members to find out more about their time in the band and also what they're doing now. And you just find out how each member of the band came to be in it, and their transition from glam rock to metal, and how you know, things got a little bit choppy for them in the middle. One of the members kind of went really violent there for a while, and one of them was given a job offer by a different, more commercially successful metal band. And kind of, you know, all of these things that happened that kind of threatened to tear the band apart but didn't. And it's about how through the years they kind of like stayed in contact, and how the being in the band affected their lives. So it's surprisingly deep for a comic that's really short, but I really, really enjoyed it. And something Frank also does is include playlists to go along with their comics, and they're all like YouTube playlists, so you can listen to it while you read. And I didn't actually listen to it while I was reading it, but I think if I read it again I would do that. I really, really enjoyed it, and I gave it 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend it. And then the next book that I read is also by Alison, and it's called Pretty and Sick. It's another zine. It's about this girl who meets an assassin at a club and kind of goes along with her on a few other jobs, and it turns out that the main character's ex-boyfriend is the assassin's partner in crime, and it was really good, and I gave this one 4 stars also. And I just really enjoyed how these two girls just got along so easily, despite the fact that one was an assassin, and I loved that it was really action-packed and full of adventure, and it was just really, really nice, and I would actually like to know a lot more about these characters and the ones in Wolfskin. So Alison, if you're ever considering writing sequels, I will absolutely read them, because yes. Anyways, one is an assassin, the other one gets kind of caught up in that life and turns out to kind of like it, and there's some kissing and so that's always nice. And yeah, it was really good. Definitely recommend this one as well. The last book is also by Alison, and I gave this one 5 stars, and it is We Go Forward, and it's about this girl called Rosalind. Fun fact, Alison's other book, Long Macchiatos and Monsters, is about Rosalind's sibling. So this is kind of like a companion novel, which is actually really cool. Definitely recommend Long Macchiatos and Monsters as well. I read it last year and it was fabulous. Anyway, so this is about a girl called Rosalind who is from Melbourne, and she is afraid of always being stuck there, so she goes overseas, just, you know, so at least she can say that she's done it even if she doesn't leave Melbourne again. And while she's there, she meets this other girl called Christy, who is also from Melbourne, and her dad died and left her a lot of money, and so she kind of just took it and ran, essentially. And they meet each other in Berlin, and they kind of travel around with each other. They go to Prague, where they meet these other 2 girls, and then they kind of hire a camper van and drive around a bit with them, and kind of find themselves. And like Wolfskin, it's very much about finding the place where you belong. Rosalind is bisexual and Christy is asexual and aromantic, so this is not a romance, they're just friends. For once, it's actually a friendship book. So I really enjoyed this one. I definitely recommend all of these books. They're all really good. They're all fabulous for queer representation, obviously, because both of the authors are queer, and it's just really nice. And I promise I'm not saying any of this because they are my friends. All of these books are really good. So those are all the books that I'm going to talk about in this video. If you are at all interested in these books, please buy them and support my friends who are amazing. I will leave the links in the down bar, as I've said. And yeah, that's all I have for you for this video. So I will see you in my next one. Bye everyone.